What's up, guys? My name is John. I play guitar and do vocals for the metal band Viminal, and today I want to share some thoughts on responsibility and communication when you're in a band. These are two things I think tend to go hand in hand, and something I learned about years ago, and it helped me get more done and be a better team player, so to speak. So we tend to think of responsibility as the need to complete tasks and obligations, like a child doing chores, but I tend to think of it more as recognizing your ability to respond to a particular situation. There's a great quote from Craig Ballantyne, who's a writer and an entrepreneur. I'll link the video that this comes from in the description. And he says, I'm responsible for everything that happens to me. And he gives this really bizarre example of, like if he were to be hit by a car, he would say, that was my fault. And that seems weird, because you think, no, it's the driver's fault, right? But the car, the driver, those are things beyond your control, beyond your influence. And so getting upset about them or blaming them isn't as resourceful as saying, well, no, I'm responsible for being in that particular situation. By saying you're responsible for everything that happens to you, I think what he's saying is that he's basically having a mindset that maximizes his ability to influence the outcome of a particular situation. And that's far more resourceful than blaming outside forces that are actually beyond your control, that are beyond your ability to have a particular response. So in order to maximize your effectiveness and in order to put yourself in the most resourceful position to have an impact in a situation or to avoid being hit by a car, you should take full responsibility, so he says. I think this is a pretty empowering mindset to have. Unless you work in an office, and even then, no one is going to make time for you to do what's important to you. You have to make time yourself. And this is especially important in a band because you not only have an obligation to yourself, to do what's important to you, but you're part of a team, so you have an obligation to the other people who are in your band. But then again, you're not perfect. You're gonna eventually struggle with some task. You're gonna be overwhelmed by other life circumstances. And in that case, it's your responsibility, in fact, to communicate with your band. What did I say here? Your bandmates are relying on you, and they have every right to be disappointed or skeptical, if you, for whatever reason, aren't fulfilling the role that you guys had agreed upon. And that might be something musical, like learning a part, or it might be something that's just practical, like, for example, our bassist manages our Instagram account. So if life is getting in the way, or if something is challenging you, first your responsibility is to do everything you can to figure out how to make that happen, to create a solution, basically. No one is responsible for that but you. But then the second thing is that if that's not possible for whatever reason, or if you're doing that and you're still not getting the result you're looking for, then your responsibility is to communicate with your band. It's just as important to make sure there's communication on the team so that everyone's on the same page, so that you all are aware of the situations of individual members. So you should talk to your bandmates about what's going on, whatever it may be, and in fact ask for support. I mean, that doesn't mean emotional support necessarily, but if you're struggling with a part, ask for some extra practices, or if you've agreed to a certain deadline as a band, just say, hey, I'm having a hard time with this, or I'm a little bit busy right now, can we push that deadline to a later date? Can we postpone our recording schedule? Can we skip that show, or can we play a different song at that show? Whatever the case may be. But by communicating, you're not only informing the band, but you're actually creating more solutions for yourself. You're taking responsibility, which is admirable, and bandmates will like that about you. But then you're also creating a solution where you maybe don't have to be so rushed to meet a deadline, or you don't have to do something you don't necessarily want to do. You might even be able to get help from your bandmates in completing something. But you won't do that, you won't get that unless you talk to them. Both of these things take a lot of courage, especially in music. We want to constantly protect our egos, and it's much easier to blame out other people and outside circumstances, but that's just not as resourceful. It doesn't, again, maximize your ability to influence the situation. I hope this is making sense. Asking for help probably takes even more courage, but again, it just allows the other people in your band to know where you're at, and for everyone to be putting the right amount of energy into getting towards whatever your common goal is. I mean, like I said in a previous video, you and your band should be all enrolled in the same vision, whatever that may be, playing shows, making albums, going on tour, whatever. On the flip side, it's also your responsibility to speak up if one of your bandmates is lacking in some way or is lagging behind on their parts or on their responsibilities. Again, much easier to just say like, "Oh, that guy's fucking up," or "that guy's lazy," or whatever. Just blame that guy. But you never know. That might be something. There might be something you're doing or you're not doing that's actually hindering the process, and you won't. The point is, you won't know that unless you ask, unless you talk about it. Now, don't be a dick. Don't be like, "Yo, dude, you're a piece of shit." Just say, "Hey, we agreed to this certain outcome. We had talked about this. Just wondering if something's going on." And I always ask for myself. I always ask, "Is there anything I can do to help?" Because you never know. Maybe you can. Point is, you want to maximize your productivity as a band, and you do that through communication without ego. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook. Check out our shit on SoundCloud. You can download all of our music. We just made an Instagram account, which is pretty cool. So there's a link below for that too. You can follow us on there. And please subscribe on YouTube. You'll get the next video blog. I mean, who doesn't like free shit, right? But again, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you next time.